Mithilfe des Metaverse Millionen Menschenleben retten. Das klingt erstmal verrückt, aber das Update, was wir dir heute liefern, das ist eins der ersten Projekte, die wir bei uns auf dem Kanal überhaupt vorgestellt haben. Und zwar das Projekt SafeVerse. Falls du jetzt da noch gar nicht weißt, um was es geht, hier die Verlinkung zum Video. Achtung, das ist wirklich alt. Und da ist mittlerweile eine Menge passiert, weswegen wir uns auch den Founder ins Interview bei uns eingeladen haben. Auf unserem Kanal, da findest du spannende neue Projekte, du findest News zur aktuellen Marktlage und die faktenbasierte Analyse von Scams. Wenn dich die Themen interessieren, dann lass uns auf jeden Fall schon mal ein Abo da. Und bevor wir da jetzt reinstarten, haben wir noch einen anderen kleinen Tipp für dich. Ein Projekt, über das wir schon häufig berichtet haben. Real Estate Token oder kurz RED. Wenn du noch gar nicht weißt, um was es geht, hier die Verlinkung. Und da steht jetzt ein Offline-Event am 18.03. an. Zum einen kommt niemand Geringeres als der Investment-Punk als Stargast und es wird auch das erste Bauprojekt live veröffentlicht plus Live-Presale. Also da ist eine Menge geboten. Deswegen sei da auf jeden Fall dabei. Wie bekommst du Tickets? Unten einfach in die Description schauen, da bekommst du alle Infos. Und jetzt starten wir ins Interview. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum heutigen Interview, wo wir über ein Projekt sprechen, wo wir, ich würde jetzt mal behaupten, nahe vor knapp einem Jahr das erste Mal berichtet haben. SafeVerse, ein sehr, sehr cooles Projekt mit einem ja mal anderen Use Case als ich gehe im Metaverse shoppen oder sowas. Und da haben jetzt viele auch nachgefragt, Mensch, was passiert denn da? Deswegen habe ich mir jetzt mal das Team zu Gast eingeladen. Er wird gleich selber sich vorstellen. Wichtig für euch, das Interview ist auf Englisch. Wenn ihr es dennoch auf Deutsch haben wollt, einfach Subtitle einstellen. Auf Deutsch eben, die Translation funktioniert da sehr gut. Und daher hat auch jeder die Möglichkeit, eben das Interview sich auch anzuhören. At first, thank you for your time. I made this short introduction and I will start with our first question so the people will know something more about you. We have already published a video about SafeVerse Projekt, and this is a long time ago.
Yes.
Can you briefly introduce yourself and describe the project in a few sentences?
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me today. It's wonderful to be in this interview. And so about me, I'm Prahalad. I'm the founder and CEO of SafeVerse and Zyna Labs. So prior to SafeVerse, Zyna Labs is a company based out of Ingolstadt in Germany, as well as in India. And we have been working on a lot of virtual reality and gamification projects for the government sector, aerospace sector, and a lot of Fortune 500 companies. And with SafeVerse, we launched safety project. Basically, SafeVerse is one of the first of its kind Metaverse platform for safety trainings globally, and all the safety trainings are very much regulated, and it's a future.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. A lot has happened since the last video. I said it at the start. Can you explain where the project is in terms of programming process? Complicated word.
Yeah. Okay. So we started last year around the mid of I think April. So that's where all the development started with SafeVerse. And from the almost, and it's been a year with the progress. And currently we are in development stage, and we are working on a lot of R&D, especially doing a lot of research and development for safety modules, because safety is a regulated standard across globally, and every country has some regulations specific to the industry. Like, for example, firefighting or chemical or aerospace, everything has a regulated standard. Now, all this requires a wide research and study, a wide effort to understand and try to put that on a paper and see where we can work on priority based. From the last year, we have worked on oil and gas scenarios, firefighting scenarios, and recently, I think we launched a trailer about the chemical lab safety, which is in a teaser stage, but yeah, it's still in development stage, and that's where we are working on. And yeah, that's where we are. We are working on a lot of safety regulated models.
Yeah, very cool, and a very important part, by the way. Now I think the next question is very interesting for a lot of investors from us. You already have many partnerships. Can you tell us about your main partners?
Great. So since I was mentioning in the very beginning that SafeVerse, prior to SafeVerse, Zana Labs is the company, it's still a company. And we have worked with European Union, the Federal Ministry of Transport, the German Federal Ministry of Transport, the universities in Germany, and some of the companies globally. So we are already an established company, and SafeVerse, with the launch of SafeVerse, we have migrated all of these customers onto it. And recently, with the last 3 months of progress, we were still in discussion with some of the airlines, that is Qatar Airways, Garuda Indonesia, and some of the Middle Eastern airways as well. And we are working, trying to close a deal with some of the chemical companies. That's why the chemical lab safety was released as part of a demo, because that's where safety is very much important. So we are trying to see where we can prioritize our project and try to easily launch, not to make it very, very complicated, because some of the industries, if you take aerospace, airlines, it's a very, very regulated industry. You cannot just penetrate very easily. So we are trying to see which is the easiest level to penetrate and try to, mitigate from there. So that's the so far development. And also we have been working, trying to work closely with some of the oil and gas companies in the southeastern region, the Southeast Asia. So recently we had a discussion with the Petronas, which is one of the largest oil and gas company, for the safety standard, especially for the safety standard. So that's one of the recent development, within the last 3-4 weeks.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. What are the next milestones in your roadmap?
Yeah. So, continuing with the development. So we are trying to do a lot of R&D, because safety is a very serious business. Because close to around 3 million people die every year due to safety-related training and work-related diseases. So it's a very serious job what we are doing, and that requires a very precise and organized study of deploying, creating and deploying the modules. So we cannot just create a safety training just like that out of thin air without any safety concern. So whoever is getting trained on a safety training, they have to understand what is the safety and they have to follow those protocols, and it has to be regulated. So we are dealing with a life and death situation here. So we are into serious business. Yeah. So all the trainings has to be organized. So that is where we are trying to focus, prioritize in the next set of months, and see, as I was mentioning, there are some of the customers who are ready to onboard with us in next couple of months. So we are trying to see which are the priority in safety and priority to deploy to them, so we can bring them as the beta customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see how important your work is. This is not like, hey, I go shopping. This are human lives we can save.
Yes,
very
exactly.
Important. Yeah.
Yes.
Another thing, you have a huge use case. We heard it from you. But on the other side, marketing is also very important.
Yes.
What is your future marketing strategy?
Yeah, it's a good question. So now, Metaverse is something. It's a new platform in the recent years, but in the recent months only you can take it as a traction, because so far it has been a hype. back in the last 2 years, it's just been a hype. Oh, Metaverse, Web3. But coming to the reality, people are now post-pandemic. Now they are just trying to understand. Now they are trying to open up and understand, oh, this is something new. This is something very useful for the company. Now, so this only happens when companies like us go around and promote it. So how do you promote it? So we are taking this thing very seriously. So we are going across the world. We have visited a lot of conferences, and we have been there projecting what is Metaverse, why you should think about the next technology, the next future, and try to come into this as soon as possible, because you should not be you should be prepared for the next pandemic or next whatever it is. So try to adapt to the newest technologies, try to make use of it. So we are trying to go around, and not only me, some of our investor friends and some of the fraternity, the network fraternity, they're also going around and promoting these things. And apart from that, we are also promoting widely on the social media. So one of the good part is that, as I was mentioning very previously, we already have few customers, and there are a few customers who are showing interest in this. So this is a good start, because when somebody starts using it, and over the next few months, couple of time, people will try to expand it and people try to understand it. So that is one of the important part when it comes to promoting and marketing. So we're trying to see who would be our first or couple of first beta customers. So that itself will solve your 50 to 60% of the breaking the ice or go-to-market strategy. Yeah.
Cool. For this time, at first, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think there happened a lot. I think there will happen a lot in the future. So maybe we can do another interview in the future and see what happens then. But the use case is huge, and it makes sense to follow this project. Also, all links in description. Very important thing. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure. Thank you for all the support and help with this. Thank you very much.
Wie im Interview schon gesagt, wir finden es einfach mega. Zum einen, was an Partnern schon an Bord ist, und zum anderen auch, was dieses Metaverse bewirkt. Da geht es nicht um Freizeitvergnügen, da geht es um Menschenleben. Ja, an der Stelle schreib uns doch gerne mal in die Kommentare, was deine Gedanken zu dem Projekt sind. Und wenn du da noch weiter mit uns sprechen möchtest oder auch eben noch weiter informiert werden möchtest über andere Projekte, die wir vorstellen, dann legen wir dir unsere Telegram-Gruppe ans Herz. Link in der Description. Und stopp, bevor du jetzt weiterschalten möchtest. Die Revolution von Move to Earn, was begründeterweise relativ stark ins Hintertreffen kam. Fight Out. Und was dieses Projekt anders macht als all die anderen, das erfährst du hier im Video. Wir sehen uns im nächsten Video. Bis dahin alles Gute. Ciao.